If every time you go online you're seeing something about derma rolling and its amazing benefits for beautiful skin, glowing skin, hair growth, scalp inflammation, and so many other things, this is the video for you because I know you've been searching for it. In this video I'm gonna break down what derma rolling is, how long it's been around, where it actually comes from, and why this is one of the best ways to boost your collagen production and the blood circulation and oxygen flow within the scalp. Remember the video where I told you that no matter what oils and butters you put on your skin, it doesn't matter because of the stratum corneum is there to protect. But with this method you can penetrate a little deeper, but everything shouldn't penetrate. So I'm going to tell you what should and shouldn't. Because if you remember in previous videos I told you all about the stratum corneum, which is the top layer of skin. It is the protector. That is the layer of skin that is keeping all of your oils and butters and everything from getting past that first layer of skin. But with derma rolling you can get past it just for a minute. So in this video again I'm gonna go over how to derma roll, when you should and shouldn't derma roll, when it's too much, and the exact time frame you should go derma rolling, what you should do after derma rolling, what you can use on the scalp to maximize your results. So if you want to know, stick around. So what is derma rolling? Derma rolling is an at-home version of micro needling done in like a dermatologist's office. It is a at-home version of micro needling. It's a handheld roller covered in tiny little needles, and you're going to use this tool to roll over the skin and create micro little punctures to induce the healing process. So the goal is to jumpstart the healing process of the scalp, produce more collagen, even producing a better and smoother texture to the skin, while also increasing the rate of product absorption when you are adding products to the skin. Because again, as I taught you guys in previous videos, or I taught you never to put oil on the scalp, it was because you can't get it through the stratum corneum. But we're gonna keep going. Stick around, don't stop, because some of y'all micro needle and then use oil on your scalp, and today I'm going to tell you why that's a horrible idea. But wait, you know I like to be a little history buff and nerd first. So micro needling started like in the early 1990s, and this is as it pertains to its medical roots. I know that it probably has an ancient history, but we're just starting in the 90s. So in the early 1990s it was a certain field of medical dermatology, and they discovered that when they made minor and really small micro punctures, that as the skin healed it was more radiant, it had less wrinkles, the skin was more firm. So the studies kept going. This was amazing, the rate in which the skin was producing new collagen. In 1995 this South African plastic surgeon discovered something a little different. 1995 this South African doctor, he popularized this technique that we now call micro needling medically, but this was the original name for it in 1995. But he didn't create it necessarily, but he made it like that thing, you know, kind of like the BBLs and stuff. So then in the early 2000s micro needling pens and things of that nature became something that was used and started gaining popularity for like fine lines and wrinkles, something a little less invasive than surgery and stuff, kind of like the first step to getting a firmer skin tone. It was also one thing, like a secret weapon for a lot of plastic surgeons, of course, because by doing micro needling it helped to reduce the visibility of those scars when they were getting surgery, right? So we haven't got to hair yet, but we keep going. Later on, the beauty industry and YouTube, like it does with everything else, kind of morphed it into like an at-home self-care, do-it-yourself thing, and we went from calling it micro needling to derma rolling because it just sounds nicer and less invasive. So just in short, clinical micro needling came first and then was converted into the term derma rolling for you when you're doing it at home. Well, the first step is the needles puncture the epidermis, and sometimes a little bit under the epidermis, and sometimes the upper dermis, sometimes if you're like extremely aggressive. So what's happening when you do that? Your body is sending signals. So your body thinks, oh my God, we have a tiny energy, send growth hormones, send the fighters. Send the growth factor, because that's what you need. It sounds like I'm being weird, but I promise you that's what it say in my book. Fibroblast makes microcollagen plus on top of that, creating and lasting over weeks, right? So this is something that you will use one time in a certain process, which we'll get to in a second, and then the scalp has to heal for you to get that result. For a short period of time, which again I'll go deeper into in a second, the skin opens up a little bit and you're able to absorb products better. Now this is completely oversold on the internet, and we'll break that down in a second, and most of you right now at this second are causing way more harm than good micro needling the way that they're telling you to do it online. But if you stick around to the end of this video, I will fix it, but don't skip through because you're gonna be confused and that's gonna be your fault.
Microneedling. Now, I'm not a huge proponent of microneedling for everybody, but in this case, when you're trying to be as aggressive as humanly possible, you can acquire a microneedling device that is typically around 0.5 millimeters, and you are going to use that 2 to 3 times a week, and you will really vigorously push that into the scalp, and you will probably have bleeding, you will probably have an extreme amount of discomfort, but when you're doing that, you are creating trauma, and that trauma is going to allow for your scalp to help rehabilitate itself. Additionally, if you're using that before the use of minoxidil, so you're doing the scalp microneedling and then putting minoxidil on top of it, you're going to magnify the result of each synergistically.
How much are you supposed to derma roll in a month, a week, or a day? You feel me? I'm gonna tell you. Understand that it's not the tears in your skin, the derma roller itself, that makes the hair grow. What happens is the derma roller tears the skin, then it creates a collagen response from your body that rushes to the problem areas, and then it heals the skin and causes hair growth as a part of the healing process. You feel me? The healing process is where the hair grows. You gotta give your body time to heal from this mug right here, alright? You can't be doing this every day, or else you ain't gonna have no hair growth at all. You just gonna be tearing holes in your skin and probably get to the point where you can't have no hair growth at all. What you gotta do is, I'd say, no more than twice a week. Once a week on average, no more than twice a week. And if you gonna do twice a week, don't do back-to-back days. Do like Monday and Thursday. You feel me? Space it out, bro. You got sense, common sense. Space it out. Give your face time to heal. And as it heals fully, the hair is gonna grow. That's all you need. No more than twice a week, bro.
So first, let's start off with the sunshine. What are the pros of microneedling? Now, let's be very clear that not everyone will get these results because it's going to depend on the needle length and the technique. So if you don't follow directions, if you don't have the proper tool, it's not gonna work, girl. It's not. Some of these little booty cheek micro needles that y'all have, you think you doing something because it's cheaper, girl. It ain't gonna do nothing. Number 1, texture and fine lines. The micro injury leads to more collagen production. This is going to give your skin a smoother look over time, but it's not made for like a facelift. It's not that. So you need to start doing this early. If it already dropped, girl, it ain't gonna pick it all the way back up. They be lying. Acne scarring in the dermatology office, they have way better results because they have a variety of needles and it's actually done as a medical procedure versus at home use. Even though at home use does help with a little bit of scarring, it doesn't really do anything by itself without, you know, other serums and stuff and things of that nature in its place, but it's okay. Okay, so I've told you previously about skin cell turnover, right, where every 28 days the skin cells, the skin on your body, it falls off and creates new skin cells. Well, when you do microneedling, when you do derma rolling, what you end up doing is speeding up your skin cell turnover cycle, because you are creating mighty micro punctures. So that top layer of skin, it thinks something traumatic happens, is going to die off, because remember, you are speeding up a process. You have sent out the growth factor. So by speeding up skin cell turnover by microneedling and then following it up with some type of vitamin C serum or different products or extracts and things of that nature that are marketed to you to brighten up skin or to remove dark spots. For example, the turmeric glow soap from Simple Apothecary is great at brightening dark spots. So derma rolling and then using a soap like a turmeric soap or some type of turmeric scrub on the body is great, right? Some, not all, people see a even skin tone afterwards, but be careful for darker skin tones, because sometimes it does more harm than good. Stick around for the cons, I'll break that down. Next up is going to be product penetration. This is the part that to me is a little overhyped, because they're promising you things that, girl, it's not gonna happen just because you use the derma roller at home. Tiny channels are opened up when you use a derma roller. Tiny channels are opened up, so when you put something like a serum or a glyceride on the scalp, it's really easy for the key constituents to target the scalp and tackle those things that it wouldn't necessarily be able to get to without the derma roller, because of how powerful the stratum corneum is. And lastly, a lot of dermatologists for professional microneedling found that there was less downtime than something like laser, you know, a laser treatment to cure some type of pigmentation problems or miscoloration or any discoloration or anything that they were having around the body. It was way less downtime. Let's go over the cons. Number one is the risk of infection. If you do things wrong and you add the wrong products, we'll get to that in a second, it's gonna be a longer video, and you add the wrong products to the scalp, most likely you are doing way more harm than good, because remember, you are opening tiny puncture wounds, thousands of them. You're doing it all over your scalp, so you are making tiny holes all over the scalp, your face, wherever you're using it, right? Dirty rollers, dirty hands, dirty pillowcases, dirty face rags. If you're rolling over acne or cold sores or any scarring, you have a risk of infection and spreading bacteria all over your face, all over your scalp. So this will be adding way more harm than good. Number two is going to be the irritation to the dermis of the scalp. So if you needle and then put a spicy serum on the scalp like a retinol or something like that, even something with peppermints on it, a spicy serum like a retinol, fragrance, exfoliants, acids, vitamin C acid like serums, different serums with a really low pH. This can burn the scalp, especially if you were overly aggressive. And not only can it burn, but it can cause inflammation, because that top layer of skin, that barrier is broken. There's nothing protecting it, so it's a breeding ground for bacteria, and you're just ripping the scalp open. This can cause lines, and this goes for the skin and the scalp. This can cause lines, wrinkles, or a worsening of lines and wrinkles that are already present. So do not just try any product that you see pop up on YouTube when you are microneedling, because I can almost guarantee you gonna be bald-faced and bald-headed. Your eyebrows I don't even know if you was microneedling your eyebrows, but your eyebrows gonna jump off like at the thought of what you did to the face. It's like, I don't want none of that. Number 3 is going to be scarring. If you have the wrong technique, the way that some of these YouTubers are showing you how to microneedle, you are going to destroy your scalp's barrier and your skin's barrier. If you're pressing as you're microneedling, no, you do not need to press. But if you're pressing, horrible technique, dragging it through the scalp, pressing it, rolling it sideways, trying little techniques, or rolling for way too long with way too many passes, or using a longer needle because you heard some YouTuber tell you to use a longer needle for deeper penetration. Girl, y'all gonna be bald head. This can cause lines, this can cause lines in the skin, balding, scarring in the scalp, thinning, and worse conditions than you had before. Number 4 is going to be hyperpigmentation, especially for darker skin like mine. I want to be dark skinned so bad, but especially for darker skin tones. Any type of inflammation is going to trigger pigment. Why? Melanin is going to come in and your body's going to start producing more melanin so you can heal and repair those different spaces that you are causing too many microscopic holes in. So overdoing it is going to do way more harm than good. You think you doing something, keep doing it, getting rid of micro pigmentation, or you gonna be hypo pigmentation. Too deep, going way too deep, or doing this over already irritated skin is going to make it way worse for you. Number 5, this part a lot of people won't want to hear. Everyone is not a candidate for microneedling. So if you have active acne scars, like any pus-filled bumps on your face, girl, don't you do it. I had a bump on my face a couple days ago, so I'm not saying nothing bad, but when you have a bump, it's full of pus, bacteria, inflammation. So then you make a bunch of, the thing, and you gonna make microscopic holes, pop the pimple, and then keep rolling. You gonna just make another hole on your face and then put the bacteria that was in that bump all over your face. Girl, if you got bumps, wait till the bumps is gone. It's not gonna take the bumps away. It's gonna spread them over the rest of your face. So active acne, rosacea, having a rosacea flare, eczema, psoriasis. This is going to make it worse, and it will make it spread because, again, you're making microscopic holes in your skin and then you're rolling it around. So whatever is in one follicle is going to be on the rest of the follicles as you spread it. Already irritated skin is going to worsen, and the skin in those areas will darken as your body produces more melanin to heal that spot. Number 6 is going to be sanitation, because sanitation at home is always not up to standard as it pertains to a doctor's office. It's just simply not. Most people like that I see online tell you to get alcohol wipes and then rub it on there for 10 seconds. That is not enough to kill the type of bacteria that you are spreading when you are making microscopic holes within your body. And on top of that, because of the price of a good needle, most people are not, because of the price of a good needle, most people are not, buying and replacing these needles as much as they should. So the needles end up dulling over time, and you can't see it because they're such little needles, but they end up dulling over time, and those rips, those holes that they make, end up becoming microscopic tears, and it's just a disaster, girl. And number 7 is going to be overdoing it, which almost every video that I've seen on social media, the routine and pattern that they give y'all is overdoing it. So the purpose of using a derma roller is to create microscopic tears, microscopic holes in the scalp so your body can produce more collagen. But guess what? It takes collagen weeks to form. So if you do it like the girls on YouTube telling you to do it, and doing it every couple of days or once, a couple of times a week, then you're not giving your body a chance to heal. You're not giving your body a chance to produce any collagen, because before your body can heal, you make another tear. So instead of the body making new collagen, the body is constantly focused on healing from all of these extra microscopic tears you're making. Because remember, when you're going back over with the Derma roller, girl, you're not making the same holes, you're making a whole nother grid pattern. So be aware. And with even longer needles, it keeps you in the inflammation state for way longer. So instead of it taking a couple of weeks, it may take 3 weeks, and this will end up ruining the skin's barrier, which then creates a whole different issue. What is the difference between in the doctor's office or at home? Microneedling or derma rolling? What is the difference, and which one is better? Now, I love you, but as a scientist, I think that doing it in a doctor's office is better, right? Or doing it in a doctor's office or with a trichologist is better. But if you, of course, don't have the money to do it, I completely understand. Girl, it's Jumanji outside. I get it. But if you're going to go that route, it's really, really important that if you are deciding to do the cheaper route, doing it at home instead of the doctor's office, do not take the cheaper route with the microneedling tool that you are using. Because if you do, you will pay for it long term. So let's get into it. At-home rollers are usually anywhere between 0.25 to 0.5 millimeters. This is better for product absorption and a very, very mild texture boost. This is low risk, but you still need to sanitize your derma rollers like excessively. And don't be having no stinking little funky butt when you do it, okay? You need clean skin. Our professional microneedling or derma pen stamps, they have a slightly different size. Those needles are usually anywhere between 1 to 2.5 millimeters. So it's a little bigger in the doctor's office. It's a little bigger in the doctor's office, so you can see why the results will be different at home versus in the actual dermatology office. I love you, but girl, it's a difference. The needles are nowhere near the same size, girl. This has controlled depth, is sterile, and normally they are combining it with PRP or specific actives that they have found are going to work for your scalp. But remember, in a dermatologist's office, you've already had like a scalp biopsy, or they've looked at your scalp. They can see what bacteria is there, and doing microneedling in the dermatologist's office will help whatever the thing is, whatever the treatment that they're giving you for whatever your issue is, to get into the follicle easier, or that the whatever layer of skin they want. Because again, that's why it says controlled depth, because in a dermatology office they know exactly what's in there, what level of the skin is on, and depending on the level of depth they want to reach, that is what microneedle they will grab. Does it make sense? Let me know if it makes sense in the comments. So I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, and some people are going to think I'm being a hater as usual, but girl, whatever. The majority of the results that you're seeing online are from doctors doing microneedling in the doctor's office. I'm sorry, if you just look on the screen at the difference in size, I'll try to put like a picture here to show you the size of the microneedle that the doctor uses versus the derma rolling needle that you use. They are so different, girl. They're they're completely different reactions to completely different levels of the skin that they're getting anything to. Again, the amazing results come from the dermatology office, not from a magical $20 micro needle that you can get on Amazon. And that's why I'm saying the more expensive, like if you can't afford to go into the dermatology office, there are certain micro needles that there are certain derma rollers that are going to be a better level, closer to the dermatology level. It still won't be as good as what a dermatologist can do, but it'll be way closer than the one you can get for $20 on Amazon. Just be honest. So what does a healthy derma rolling routine at home actually look like? Because if you're watching this video, you are either thinking about, you just want to know what derma rolling is, you want to go in to see a dermatologist, or you like, girl, I ain't doing all that, I'm gonna do it on my own. So let's get to this part. I'm including this part because doing it wrong is what actually causes the problems. Derma rolling is one thing that if you hack, all you're gonna be hacking is a bald spot design in your head. What you're gonna do is gonna have tire tracks, it's gonna have Z's, zigzags in it. That's all you doing. Racetracks, that's what your scalp gonna look like after a while. Number one, you need to have clean hands and skin. So don't go running and let me do some derma rolling before I get in the shower, okay? Number two, disinfect the derma roller properly. Completely submerge it in at least 70% alcohol. Do this before and after use, and always air dry in a clean environment. Don't be air drying and nowhere dusty, because then it's gonna be dusty again. Number three, use light pressure. Only roll horizontally, vertically, or this way, or horizontally. Don't be doing swirls and loops and figure eights and infinity signs. Don't do that. Be regular and only do a few passes. I saw this one video, she was saying, girl, don't do that. Apply a blend treatment base serum or whatever treatment your trichologist, holistic practitioner, or dermatologist recommends. But remember, there's no fragrance. Whatever you use has to have no additional artificial fragrance. Skip all strong actives like this on the scalp and skin for anywhere between 24 to 48 hours. I tell my clients to avoid it for at least a week, because sometimes you just don't know what state of healing your scalp is in. If it's just now in the healing process, maybe you just came out of inflammation, wait a week. For longer needles, you are only doing this anywhere between every 2 to 4 weeks. I always say the latter, like as 4 weeks. If I say 1 to 2 weeks, I mean every 2 weeks. If I say 2 to 4 weeks, I mean 4 weeks. For the shorter needles, you can do it every 1 to 2 weeks, but I need you to understand, more is not better when it comes to derma rolling. Less is more. Again, I can say every 1 to 2 weeks, but I would recommend every 2 weeks for the little needles. You can say every 2 to 4 for the longer needles. I'ma say every 4. Even if you don't regularly wear sunscreen, if you find yourself outside after derma rolling, you want to make sure that you are wearing sunscreen, because you just caused inflammation on purpose to begin the healing process. So wear sunscreen. So again, on social media, they are literally always lying to you, telling you that if all you have to do is put this oil and this butter and this grease on the skin and you'll just have like, oh, it'll saturate. And it's not true. The stratum corneum is the top layer of your skin, and it is literally there for one purpose, and that is to protect the other layers of skin under it. So it is meant to push things away. So even though, yeah, a little bit of the oil will absorb just a little bit, but it's not getting past the stratum corneum. That is why even doctors do micro needling. Micro needling is something that they did to get different things, even things with smaller particles, things smaller than the big old molecules in oil, right? even things smaller than that, they couldn't get them past. So that's why they use micro needling in the first place. So I need you to understand, if the doctors can't get it through the scalp, just putting it on there, even something made in the lab, what makes you think that the oils and the greases and the butters that you're putting on your scalp are doing anything else other than just sitting there, right? So that's something that you really want to think about. When we are talking about the stratum corneum, we're talking about the protector. So when you're talking about derma rolling, you are talking about a tool that helps you slightly puncture, right? Just lightly puncture the protector, so you can just get a little bit of a help made in, which now introduces us to this video sponsor, Simple Apothecary, and Bendrage is Blessing, which we talked about in this video here. But this herb is an amazing herb from Ayurveda, and this is known as the king of hair. This herb is known as, again, make sure you check the video linked in the description box below so you can learn even more about it, because I go way deeper into it here. But the last time the gurus met, we talked a little bit about this herbal glycerite, and we talked a little bit about the other ones that are within the apothecary and what the proper way is to use them. Because yes, you will get a good benefit, a little bit of a benefit just on a surface level, right? You know, because it has because it has antimicrobial and antibacterial properties and all of the things. Yes, it'll kill certain things on the scalp, but all of the key constituents that I taught you about in the video linked in the description box below about Bendrage, what it does is it makes those microscopic little holes, so that way you can add it to the scalp after you shampoo. So then that way you can add it to the scalp and cover it and really do a treatment, shampoo it out, and you know it penetrated the scalp to get all of the amazing benefits. So let's talk about it. Now, with the Simple Apothecary, we have both salves and glycerites. Each product is used for different things. Although salves feel amazing, although salves absorb, like even my salves, when you first look at it, it'll look thick. Even the blue butterfly pea flower salve, it has small little pieces of cocoa butter in it. So when you first look at it, it'll look as if it's thick, and then you touch it and it absorbs right away into the skin. Well, even though that's how the naked eye looks, at one point in time it was firm. So our point of doing this is putting it deep into those layers of the skin. So you don't want to add anything that can eventually solidify, right? Because it has shea butter and beeswax in it. So this is something you want to remove. When we are using the salves the way I teach you to use them, it's not a big deal when you do it without microneedling. Why? There are no holes, there are no extra punctures in the skin, and the way I formulate my salves is not going past that top layer to puncture the follicle or block the pores. It doesn't work that way. But if you make microscopic holes in the scalp, it will do that. And then those holes will be full with beeswax and shea butter. And then that will lead to inflammation down the line, because there's also oils present within it, right? But again, if you use the salves the way I teach you to use them, those things are washed away. But if you use an oil or a grease or a butter after microneedling, it is a disaster. Most likely you will see no results, or you will experience massive itching or inflammation, sometimes even burning after use, as your body is trying to push out those different things that you've now put in those holes that you've formed. But when we're talking about the glycerites that I have, my glycerites are made, my herbal extracts are made with glycerin. And glycerin is a humectant. This draws moisture into the skin, which supports healing and hydration in a healthy manner. in moderation. So for this reason, the glycerin, it ends up being able to absorb with the herbs, carrying those key constituents into those channels that you've created without causing blockage or inflammation. Make sure you avoid any type of glycerite or any type of anything that has things that you can't pronounce. When you look on my website, there's nothing in my tinctures. There's absolutely nothing within mine except for the herb, water, and glycerin. That is it, and that is all. Depending on what your scalp issue is, depending on what the scalp issue that you're having is, that will determine which type of glycerite you end up using on the scalp. So make sure you check the course that I have on scalp inflammation so you can look through it and see which type of scalp or follicle disorder you may have, and then right after that, look at my other herbal course that is going to break down to you exactly which herbs within the apothecary, or just in general, because some of the herbs within that course I don't have within the apothecary, but you can look and see exactly how these herbs are used to help out with these different issues that you may have, and that way it's an easy selection. If you want to know the #1 herb that I recommend you to use after microneedling, then make sure you watch the video linked in the description box below, and after that, make sure you head over to my blog, because I'm going to break down to you step by step exactly how to microneedle, along with a free PDF giving you the steps, because I know this video was a lot. But again, if you join my free group, you head over there. Then if you join my free group and my email list that you can do over on my website, I'll show you here on the screen. But if you join, then I'll be sending out free recipes and so many different things coming soon. So thank you for sticking around to the end of this video, and until next time, bye girl or boy.